you spoke to your cousin?
He spoke on Instagram, I think, yesterday.
At 5 a.m., security cameras captured a woman hurrying out of an apartment complex in South Florida. She was dressed in clothes that looked completely different from the person who had arrived just hours earlier. Lying on the floor inside that apartment was 23-year-old Kayla Hodgson, who investigators would later describe as the result of a prolonged and frenzied attack. And as disturbing as the scene itself was, what unsettled detectives even more was the identity of the woman seen leaving the building that morning. Because by the time they figured out who she was, the case stopped looking like a random act of violence and started looking like something far more deliberate. Just months earlier, that same woman had been posting videos to thousands of followers, presenting a life that looked entirely under control. Her name was Sakiyna Thompson, a 28-year-old nail technician based in New York, who had carefully built an online image centered around luxury and beauty. Everything about her presence felt calm, which was exactly why what happened next was unexpected.
Don't laugh at my eyelashes. Good morning, y'all. Y'all see my little Jewish curls? It's the soccer mom outfit for me. I totally embarrassed my friend today at the mall. You already know I want to match my perfume with my clothes, but I went with the Chloe instead. This is a bad bitch perfume.
Sakiyna was in a relationship with a man named Terry Thermogen. Online, it appeared stable, with posts that painted the picture of a couple who had figured things out in a way most people only pretend to. But behind all of that, it was a different story. While Sakiyna seemed fully invested in the relationship, Terry's interest began to fade. At first, it looked like just another on and off relationship. But over time, that instability created space for something else to enter the picture. At first, it didn't seem important, but later, it would become the center of everything. During one of their breaks, Terry began seeing another woman named Kayla Hodgson. Kayla lived in Florida and worked nights as a bottle girl in local nightclubs. She was known as someone who naturally drew attention without trying. Terry's involvement with Kayla didn't just complicate things, it introduced jealousy in Sakiyna. And somewhere in that shift, the focus quietly moved away from Terry and onto Kayla. According to a later police interview with Kayla's best friend, Sakina's behavior became increasingly obsessive and controlling.
She was getting harassed with prank calls.
Okay. And with those prank calls, what was being said? When you say prank usually makes me think funny calls. Is it threatening calls or?
More like, you go my from Miami, they'll say on the phone and they'll be like, oh, you're a whore. Leave my man alone. Like, just stuff like that. I called her back yesterday cussing her ass out with my homeboy on the other line. She was like, oh, you're showing out for your friends now. And I just kept yelling. I said, no, they're really playing on your phone. She said, like, they would be silent for a good minute. Then I would have to scream hello just for them to say hello. Like, what the f***? Then at the end, she was like, you know you're a whore, right? I was like, yeah, I know. Tell me something else. Then the bitch would go quiet.
At the same time, even Sakina's TikTok content also started to take on a different tone. Sakiyna moved beyond social media and decided to confront Kayla in person. By that point, Kayla had already taken steps to cut off contact with Sakiyna, but it was already late.
I still got one bitch. I'm gonna smack the wig off. And then I'm gonna change.
Have you ever met her in person?
Yes.
And where was that at?
Not formally meeting her, more so meeting on the terms of she was waiting for Kayla at a lounge when we were in New York.
Why was she waiting for her there?
Probably to fight her.
Oh, she wasn't like, they weren't trying to meet up and like squash something.
No,
she just happened to show up where Kayla was headed.
It's like that place was a frequent place for the guys to go hang out. So they knew that after, that's where they were going. So she went there in some sweats, hair tied back, looking to fight. So we get there, we park the car, and he's calling her the whole time she's driving there and telling her, don't go inside, don't go inside, don't go inside. Please don't go inside, I'm begging you. Don't go inside, showtime, don't go inside. And she's looking like confused, like, why? And I'm looking at her and I'm telling her, like, the girl has to be inside, Like, there's no other reason why he don't want you to go in there. Like, so we ended up pulling up to showtime, and he ends up calling her because he sees us park. And he's like, come to my car, come to my car, come to my car. And she's like, she's just going to go to his car and see what he's talking about. So I ended up just still going inside. Well, I texted her first, and I was like, the girlfriend is here.
And you'd already seen her at that point?
I seen her at the end of the bar waiting.
But no, you'd seen her online, and how'd you recognize her?
Yeah, I seen her because she would message Kayla, so we'd look at the page and be like, okay, this the girl. So now I look on it and I'm like, okay, the girl's sitting here. So I messaged her and I was like, the girlfriend is definitely here. And then Kayla texted me back and she was like, yeah, that's what he's telling me. She's inside and she was waiting for me. And then I looked down and I seen her. And when she seen me, she looked at me. Then she looked past me because the person she's looking for, she knows is going to be with me. And she didn't see Kayla. So then she sat there for a little minute, waiting to see if she's going to come. Then the place was closing and she got up and she left.
In July of 2022, Sakiyna boarded a flight from New York to Florida. That decision became one of the most important details in the case. Security footage caught her arriving at Kayla's apartment complex disguised. One of Kayla's neighbors described a brief interaction with her around 2 a.m. that morning, unaware that she was bad news. Hours passed, and then, at around 5 a.m., Sakiyna found the apartment, and the outcome was so horrific, because when police later entered the scene, they found Kayla suffering from 37 stab wounds.
It was around like 2:30 maybe. I heard a knock at the door, so I looked through the peephole, but I wasn't sure who it was, but I seen it was a woman, and when I opened the door and I poked my head out, she was talking to me. She was kind of not looking, like she was looking, but like over her shoulder. And then at one point she turned and she pulled her mask down. And she told me that she looked like someone took her bag. Like she put her bag down on the stairs, walked around the complex, told me she came back and her bag was gone. And she said, I knocked on everybody's door, or I'm knocking on everybody's door on this floor because somebody on this floor took it. She said she heard a door open and then it closed. And then I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have your bag, whatever. Then she asked me how old I was. I was like, I'm 16, whatever. And then after that, I told her I didn't have her bag and I closed the door. She left. Then about probably like 20 minutes later, I started hearing banging at the door. Like it was like somebody was aggressively banging, but I didn't come out my room like to see who it was. But I called my mom, told my mom that there was somebody banging on the door.
Okay, so when you heard the banging, you didn't look out the people or anything?
No.
Okay, it was a short time after she was here, though?
Yeah, I just stayed in my room. I didn't even come out.
Okay. And this person that came to the door, do you remember what she looked like or what she was wearing?
She had on like kind of like a coat, a Yankees cap, like black sweatpants.
And you said she was wearing a mask. Do you remember what kind of mask?
A black COVID mask.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, prior to going on tape today, you were shown a photo lineup, and during that, you selected someone.
Yeah.
And that person, you circled their picture and you initialed next to it, I believe, and wrote today's date and time? Okay. And you're stating here today that person you circled or their picture was the same person you believe was at the door that night?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you recall, or how certain you are that that's the same person?
95.
95? Okay. So 95%, 100% being obviously without a doubt, 95% very close to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was the detail that stayed with investigators. Sakiyna was seen leaving the building shortly after, no longer wearing the disguise she had arrived in. This time, she was wearing Kayla's clothes. Later that day, Kayla's body was discovered. An investigation followed immediately. Inside the apartment, there were clear signs of a struggle. Throughout it all, Kayla's dog had been a witness to everything that happened inside that apartment. As detectives began working through the initial stages of the investigation, they focused first on the person who had discovered the body, a man named Relto Robinson, who Kayla had been involved with. At that point, investigators needed to understand who had been in the apartment hours leading up to the murder.
Banging on the door, because I'm like, your car is here, I'm banging on the door. And then I just checked the door, and I checked the door open, and she was right there.
Did you see anything unusual besides the fact that she...
No, nothing out of the ordinary I was seeing besides that.
Okay. Was there anything around her, anything near her?
She had a hookah, her hookah rope, her hookah hose was under her.
Okay. Are you her only boyfriend?
I have no idea.
Okay,
Just
no
messing
problem.
around.
Okay. And for about a year?
Yes.
What happened? When's the last time you spoke to her?
Yesterday.
Yesterday at what time?
Right before she went to, matter of fact, I came here yesterday to pick up some money from her around, I say I got here around 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock yesterday, and then she broke the party.
And she was here?
She was here. It was her and her dog.
You said you picked up money from her?
Yeah, I picked up money from her. I had some money because I do real estate.
Okay.
And I had some money wired to her.
Oh, okay.
I got the money from her.
But then what? You called her when?
I called her.
Or she called you, or what?
No, I called her this earlier this afternoon, in the AM, like 10.
Okay, and then, did you speak to her?
No, I didn't speak to her. And I sent her a text, and my text said deliver. And then after a while, her phone just started doing like, it just started, as soon as I called it, automatically just hung up. It didn't ring, it didn't do anything. So I was like, I was kind of getting angry. I'm like, yo, I was texting her, I'm like, yo, why you not answering the phone? So now I'm like, okay, I'm just going to swing by. I'm going to come by. Okay. When I came by the first time, she usually parks in the handicap because she has a handicap sticker. Okay. So I parked outside of the outside of the handicap, and I didn't see her car. Okay. So I'm like, all right, let me just come knock. I knocked on the door. Okay. I heard her dog, but she didn't come in. She's a person, she doesn't leave her dog, especially if her mother's not here. Okay. So I was like, okay, whatever. I went back. I left. I went to go get something to eat. And I was like, I'm still calling her and texting her. It's still the same thing. Mm-hmm. So I drove back again to see if she came back home or anything.
Did you see her car down there at all?
When I came back the second time, I went around the loop. I looked through the gate. I seen her car parked on the outside of the apartment complex. So now I come up. Now I'm banging on the door because I'm like, your car is here. I'm banging on the door. Okay. And then I just checked the door. And I checked the door, it opened, and she was right there.
Hold on 1 second. Is she handicapped?
No, she's not.
Why does she normally park in the handicap?
She got a handicap sticker.
Oh, she usually parks.
There's nothing obvious handicap. She may have something else.
No, she doesn't have anything. Nothing else wrong with her. She just has a handicap sticker.
No, I haven't been there yet. When you opened the door, where was she at when you opened it?
Just how she is now.
I didn't see her yet.
Okay, so she's facing, her head is facing this way, and her arms is out right here. Right here. As soon as you walk in by the island, in the kitchen on the left side of the island.
When you saw her there, what happened? What did you do?
After I called them, they kept me on the phone. They told me to go back inside and pump on her chest. Okay. And so they stood on the phone, coached me, pump on her chest. And then that's when I heard you guys, the ambulance.
Has she been depressed? Has she been saying things she wants to hurt herself? Right?
No, she's not that type of person. She's not that type of person. She's a happy-go-lucky person. She's happy.
When you picked up money from her yesterday at 7, was everything cool then?
Yeah, everything was good. Everything was cool with us. Okay. Everything was cool with her.
Okay. Put your hands. I just want to see you. Back up a little bit.
Oh, back up.
A little. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Okay. This obviously looks like. What hand are you? Right-handed or left-handed?
I'm left-handed.
Left-handed. Okay. Okay. Just don't do me a favor. Just don't wipe your hand. Just leave your hands like that.
They later discovered that Relto had been on the phone with a mutual friend when the situation unfolded. As the news began to spread, Kayla's family and those close to her started arriving at the scene. Their reaction was devastating, and in the midst of that grief, the family made a request to pray over Kayla's body before it was taken away. But that request was not granted, and that led to a confrontation as family members, already overwhelmed, tried to intervene.
Just wait.
But why are they loading her?
Just wait a second. Where's Mom? Where's Mom?
She's right here.
Hey.
Listen, please. She's right there. You guys don't get it. Please.
Let me talk to Mom.
She's right there. Wait, hold on. Mommy, come here.
Wait, listen. Are you Mom? Who's Mom?
Hold on, Mommy's coming.
Mommy's coming. Okay. Listen, I asked earlier, whoever it was earlier, before you guys take her and put her in, can we please pray over her? Nobody's gonna touch her.
We can't have a lot of people over there.
Okay, that's
fine. So let's have. Where's Mom?
She's coming. She just got here.
Just wait for Mom.
She just got here.
Yeah, just put it here. Nobody's touching her.
How many? Okay. You will have 3 people go up. Mom can have her and 2 other people. Okay, that way we don't have a lot of people there because it's very emotional.
I know.
All right.
But I'm the one who asked for this because I did cadaver transport. Nobody's touching anything.
Okay.
I understand that. We just want to pray over her.
Mom's not coming?
No.
Okay, then let's. Did you want to go?
Yeah, can I please?
Okay,
please.
I'm not the family. You're her grandma. Okay, grandma, why don't you just take 2 people up with you? You don't have to.
My cousin.
Okay. As long as you don't touch her, we'll stay back.
We will not touch her.
That Mom.
Okay.
She can't raise her, so we both go.
We're not going to touch her. Okay, listen. Oh, everybody take a moment. Take a moment.
we know it's difficult. Stay here, okay? All right?
It's under investigation. Oh my God. Listen, Heavenly Father.
Okay, she's going
But even as that unfolded, the investigation was moving forward. Detectives began speaking to those closest to Kayla, and the answers they received followed a consistent pattern. No one could point to a clear enemy or explain why she would have been targeted in such a way. For a while, nothing made sense until one name came up, Sakiyna Thompson. From that point forward, the direction of the investigation shifted quickly as pieces were starting to align in a way that was difficult to dismiss.
She was really mentally psycho. Mentally, the girl would not leave Kayla alone. Mind you, this guy talks to many other girls in New York. But I've gone to New York and I've gone out and he's with a different female. But I think the fact that Kayla was gorgeous, she had the body and everything, Terrence was just after her, and that was just a persistent thing with her. It wasn't just a one night, It was persistent, and he would work on it. He would fly her out. He would send her food. It was persistent. I feel like she felt like she was a threat. Okay. And I don't know, I was sitting at home and I don't know, everybody kept asking me do you know anybody that Kayla had problems with? Do you know anybody that didn't like her? Nothing triggered to me, and then all of a sudden it just hit me I forgot about this girl would literally antagonize Kayla for no reason.
Flight records confirmed that she had traveled from New York to South Florida just days before the murder. And it didn't stop there. Ride-sharing data revealed that she had used a fraudulent Uber account to reach Kayla's apartment complex in the early hours of that morning. Also, security footage placed a woman matching her at the scene during the exact time investigators were focused on. Each piece of this evidence raised questions, and less than a month after Kayla's death, Sakiyna Thompson was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. But even then, the story didn't end there, because when Sakiyna later took the stand, she presented a version of events that contradicted investigators. She claimed Kayla had attacked her first, and she acted in self-defense. She even added that she blacked out during the confrontation and could not fully recall what happened.
I'm kicking. I'm trying to get up to fight back at this point because now it's a fight. I told her I was pregnant, so I felt like she was trying to hurt me and my baby. I didn't just fight for me. I fought for me and my baby.
At the time, she was also 2 months pregnant with Terry's child, making the whole case more difficult to approach. Prosecutors, however, pointed to her actions before and after the incident, arguing that the evidence suggested planning rather than panic, which brought the case back to the same question investigators had from the beginning. They highlighted the flight, the disguise, and the attempt to conceal her identity as indicators that this was not a spontaneous act.
Punching me.
Punching you where?
My face.
Where on your face? Point to it for it.
I don't remember, but everywhere on
my
my face.
You don't remember where she was punching you in your face?
In my face.
I mean, this is why you killed her, right?
No.
Right?
No.
It's not?
No.
You didn't kill her because she was fighting you?
No, I killed her because she took the glass from the hookah and slashed me across my stomach. I wasn't really walking over the blood, I was walking in the blood.
You walked in the blood?
Yes.
With what shoes?
The BB shoes. I changed my shoes.
Terry, for his part, supported her account, with an Instagram comment from an account claiming that he had been on FaceTime during the incident and witnessed Kayla initiate the attack. But that version of events didn't align with what investigators had already uncovered. Although that claim was never verified, what was confirmed was that Terry submitted a letter to the judge requesting Sakiyna's release so she could assist in raising their child. Even Sakiyna made a similar request to give birth outside of custody. Unfortunately, those requests were denied. Sakiyna gave birth while imprisoned, and eventually the case reached its conclusion. And in the end, the image she had spent years building collapsed under the weight of what actually happened. And for Kayla's family, none of the explanations, the evidence, or the outcome could change the reality they were left with.
We are forever changed, but by God, He didn't break us. We are stronger, and Kayla will be remembered always.